What does a $1,000 day look like? Well, I'm about to show you, and one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video was to expose some common misconceptions. For example, I don't wake up at 4 a.m. and go do a polar plunge or a ice cold bath. I drink espresso like a normal person. And other than that, I just wanted to inspire you by actually showing you what's possible through my journey and share one thing that you could do right now to really help you get closer to your goal. In full disclosure, if you're someone that does more than $1,000 in a day, I don't think this video is going to help you. But before we get into anything, I want to log into Stripe and actually show you I do what I say. So I'm going to go to Stripe here. All right, I'm going to refresh. So far today, we've done 970, and then yesterday, 1579. Okay, got that out of the way. So you might be thinking, Joshua, how did you get to where you are? Well, let me explain. Before I can go into my day, it's important to understand that what got you here is not going to get you there. And you'll understand what I mean by this in a minute. My schedule now isn't because of why I'm here. It's what I did in the past few years that got me where I am now. And I've always had something in me since I was a kid. Call it the entrepreneur bug, whatever you want. When I was a younger kid, a teenager, my plan was to join the Army and become an infantryman or do something like that and work on my mindset, because I knew that if I had a hardened mindset, as funny as it sounds, I knew I could do anything. But I had some growing up to do, and I had to go through what I went through, and that's what I expected. I've been blown up twice. I've been shot at several times, and those moments really bring my dreams back to life, and it reminds me. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is you need to be driven in order to achieve a goal like this, especially if you've never done anything like it, because you're going to be fighting. It's almost like you have two versions of yourself. You're going to be fighting the version of yourself that believes it's possible and you hope for the best, but there's this other version of yourself too that just doesn't believe it's possible at all. It's really interesting. So I do my time in the Army. I get out. I'm reminded of the hard times that I went through, and I decide to start my company. So my plan of attack for starting my first company was I'm going to do an IT business. But before I build an IT business, I'm going to go to school and get a degree. So I knew I needed experience in sales at this time. So I applied for a couple sales jobs. I'm selling for Comcast Xfinity. And as I'm going to school one day, we get notified at ITT Tech that they're getting shut down. Now, keep in mind, I had been going to school for about 2 years at this point. In a matter of a few moments, I realize I'm a part of this class action lawsuit that is going to be suing ITT Tech because they did not have this proper accreditation, I guess. And so they lost all the funding from the VA, and it was this big ordeal. And I think stuff is still going on with it till this day. The bad part about that is I lost all my time, my effort, my energy, and I'm never going to be able to get that time back. I cannot go use those credits. So I was mad, and I decided that I was going to go be an electrician and start my own electrician business. So I go to another school. Little did I know, upon almost graduating, you didn't need this certificate to go be an electrician at all. You could just go find somewhere to work and get on the job trading. So I was pretty pissed at this point in time. Luckily, I met my wife, my future wife. I didn't know it at the time. Went on one date and literally moved in the next day. It was almost like a fairy tale. We were married within 5 months, and we had our first child, Charlotte, within the first 12 months. And that was a turning point in my life where I became extremely driven. And I started learning about e-com and Shopify and all these ways to make money online, because that's what really attracted me. And then one day on my way to work, I learned about this thing called Facebook ads. And basically what you would do is, the idea was to start a marketing agency that ran Facebook ads, and it clicked. That's it. And the reason why it clicked for me is because I enjoyed the subject. My father owned an orchard in Northern California, and I grew up helping him sell and market our fruit. He actually got our fruit at the orchard into the largest chains in Northern California. So I had a good example of somebody who was good at selling and good at marketing. So the interest was always there. And I can relate that back to mindset and wanting to join the Army, because I was really intrigued about psychology, and marketing has a lot of psychology. The reason why I'm bringing this up is I don't think I would have been interested in something else, because it didn't really have to do with a subject that I didn't care too much about. So I really got lucky on that. And you're probably thinking, well, Joshua, why shouldn't we start a marketing agency? And really the reason is if you don't have a love and a passion for something you want to do, it's really going to be hard to continue to do the things. And what I mean is you're going to have to work really hard and you're not going to get paid for a long time. So make sure whatever it is you're doing, you actually like. And I know it's kind of cheesy. People always say, I don't work a day in my life because they love their job. And it's the reason why I think I really became successful. But you could be interested in something and things still not work out. So that alone will not get you to a $1,000 a day. So after I start my marketing agency, I got to learn a lot about a lot of stuff. And I would go on over the next 2.5 years making $26,000, like basically $13,000 a year. And in terms of my schedule, I was spending every waking hour. I was not either watching my daughter, I was either learning a skill set, prospecting, or literally convincing myself not to quit. During that 2.5 years, we also, me and my wife and our daughter, moved across the United States, and we ended up finding ourselves in Florida because my wife joined the Air Force and she supported us during this dream of mine. And during that 2 years, I had also not been home, and I really was ashamed because I felt like a failure, and my daughter's 3rd birthday was coming up. My wife had got us plane tickets with our tax refund because we really didn't have any money. The bad part was I didn't even have enough money to get my daughter a birthday cake. So I was literally about to ask my dad for some help, and it pained me so much because, I'd been talking about building this business for 2.5 years, and there was really nothing to show for it yet. But luckily, that's when my work started to pay off. Something changed around the 2.5 year mark. I started to get better. I started to understand marketing better. I pretty much got any marketing campaign to work from anybody that I was working with. And then one day I get this DM about somebody needing help in a specific niche. I built a campaign and the campaign blows up. There's this network of 1,500 doctors that start hitting me up. And we literally hit a $10,000 a month, which was the original goal, on our way to California right before my daughter's 3rd birthday party. And I bought her the best cake in town from a guy named Frank Viltz, who's been, I think, on Cake Boss or something like that. And that's one of the coolest memories I have. So remember how I said, what gets you here will not get you there? My schedule that got me to where I am now was insane during that time. And there's levels to this, and you're going to wear a lot of hats. And one thing I've learned how to do over the years is systematize things. So the $1,000 day starts way before, and the stuff you do compounds. And you're learning new things, you're learning skill sets, and you're learning how to become effective. And when you learn how to become effective, your next thing you need to do is learn how to become efficient. And when you can do those two things together, that's where stuff gets cool. And there's a really easy way to boil this down in terms of what I would do over again, what the best version of myself would explain to Josh when I was just starting. And it would be just focus on building your skill set. Focus on building your skill set on whatever business you're trying to start. Start becoming the best at it. And I know that sounds kind of vague, but when I say start becoming the best at it, I mean study it like nobody else. And this is where it helps when you actually love what you do. For example, the last 2 years, I've had a successful agency and I've grown it. It's actually since 2019. So it's been 5 years now. But the last 2 years, I've been able to research and find other things that I enjoy and turn those skill sets into a business. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I kind of went through the same process again, only the difference is I knew I would be able to monetize it. I was 100% confident that I would be able to monetize the new skill sets that I had. And not only have I been able to monetize those skill sets, for example, I started a YouTube channel in June or July of 2023. I haven't done a lot with it, but I've already generated over $10,000 from the YouTube channel, and it's very, very small. I've been able to generate leads from it, and that is what I do now. So aside from having my marketing agency, I'm also teaching people how to generate leads from YouTube with a very small channel. And the main thing we focus on is scripting in a very specific way. And in order to understand how that works, I had to watch hundreds of hours of videos and understand how the scripting process worked, looked at viral videos and understand how that stuff worked. And I know it is only a matter of time for me before my channel is going to blow up. So how do you work your way up to a $1,000 a day, or let's just say $10,000 a month? That seems to be the typical goal. You want to quit your job and, build your own thing. So number one, I believe you need to do something you're passionate about. And I know some people will disagree. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. If you're not passionate about what you do, it's probably not going to work because you're probably going to quit when it gets hard. But if you love what you do, then it becomes a lot easier. So if you don't know what that is, you want to find what you love, build that skill set, become the best at it, and start getting results. And then when you get results, you can start charging money. If you're confused on what you should do at all, then go out there and go find somebody that's actually doing it. Your $1,000 a day or your $10,000 a month isn't just some morning routine that you can do right now. It is persistent action, building skill sets over time that compounds because you have become effective and then efficient at doing what you're doing and building that business. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to join my newsletter,